Hi, it's Martin W. Ball, your Kangen water guy. Today, going to be doing a very quick test around the pH. So I'm going to be testing source water, which is the tap water here in Fremantle, Western Australia. I'm going to be doing it with pH drops and a pH meter. I'm also going to do the same for the source water traveling through the Kangen 8 Enagic Ionizer. So let's get into it. Basically going to get the water here. I'm just going to make sure it's on cold. Lovely jubbly. And then get some more there. And then 10, so it's going to come through here onto 9.5. And then get that there. Get that there. So there's no trickery in this. The idea of what I'm looking for is to find out whether the pH drops are the same reading or very close to the pH meter. So what I'm going to do with the drops is put a couple in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and then. So I've just put the drops in there. As always, make sure you put the pH drops back onto some form of towel. You don't want to drop the drops. Now, for those of you who have watched a lot of my education, you will know that source water, town water, is federally regulated to be basically coming out neutral to slightly alkaline. So if we use this chart here, we're going to be looking at, I'm just trying to get it in the camera, over here, between 7 and 8 pH. We know that the Enagic Ionizer charges the water, so it's coming out at 9.5, charged antioxidant-rich water. We haven't added any minerals to the water. So what I'm going to do now, we know that's between 7 and 8, so I'll put my pH meter in there. We'll drop it in and we'll see what reading we get. So right now we're quite high, we're up at 9, it's coming down. It's going to find its own balance, basically. One of the things that you can do with a meter is you can spin them. It usually sometimes helps it find its calibration earlier. So this is going to come down. We're now getting into the 8s. So we're getting down to that more closer to the neutral level. But as I said, all town water is federally regulated to come out round about between 7 and 8. So we're coming down, but we're coming down. It's taking a while. So this is actually the first time I've ever using the pH meter, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the results are myself. So we're now at 8.6, coming down 8.5. I'm using the pinpoint pH monitor. I also use the the pinpoint, I'll get there eventually, the pinpoint ORP meter. They're the meters that I use. I've used Milwaukee in the past. Don't recommend them, not had a good experience with Milwaukee. I've actually had 3 of them. So I use pinpoint. A lot of the people I've spoken to around the world, they've never had any issues with using pinpoint, so I use them. They're a good meter to be using. So 8.3, 8.4 is what we're getting right now. So what I'm going to do, as we can clearly see, this has gone through the ionizer on the 9.5 setting. So we'll take that out and we'll put the meter into there. And we're now starting to see it climb. So as you saw with the town water, we were seeing it lowering down. And what we're now seeing is it raising up into the 9. So what I'm going to do, in fact, I'm going to get a fresh glass while that's counting and doing its thing. I'm actually going to get run through the ionizer while we're doing this. I'm going to use the beauty water. So we know that beauty water is basically between 4.5 and 6 on the charged pH chart. So what we're going to do, I'm going to fill that up. And the reason why I'm doing this is just to find that balance. So I'm just going to put it back here. I'll move this one back here. I'll move that one back there. So we're getting around about that 9.5. So we know that the source water that went through, let's let it do its clean. The source water that went through the ionizer, originally this was around about that 8.4 mark from memory, and it was still coming down. Whereas the same source water that went through the ionizer is now at 9.5, 9.54, you know, very close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the pH meter out and I'm going to put it into the water that we did as the beauty water. And as you can see, it's now going down. The other thing I'm going to do for a bit of fun, because I'm just creating this as I go, is I'm going to turn the power off to the ionizer. I'm going to do a pH test there. So let me turn that off. And just to show you, everything's working right now. What you're going to notice is I turned the power off, but it's still on. But I'm just going to keep touching the button, and now no power to the unit whatsoever. So nothing's happening. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get another glass. I'm going to have lots of washing up to do here. I'm going to get another glass, and I'm going to run the tap water through the ionizer with the power off. So let's just let that come through. For those of you who are fully aware, the ionizer is always going to give you water, but if there's no power, it can't be doing ionization. So right now it's still going down. You can see with 7.9 and it's going down and down and down. What I want to do is just get this town water. The town water has gone through. It's been filtered and then it's just come through. So we can see this is going down. It's going to get into that 6, between the 4.5 and 6. Well, what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to just get rid of that. And I'm going to put it in here. Now remember, this is the town water, and we got round about, I think we were getting down to about 8.4 maybe. I think it would have gone lower. But as you can see now, this is climbing. This is now at 7.7 and it's climbing up and up. So what we're actually finding is, and this was the town water as well. So remember, this was the town water before it went through the ionizer. And this is the town water with the ionizer off, no power to it, just gone through. And we've got to 7.8 at the moment, and it's still climbing. So what this is showing us, and it's really important to understand, is that the charge is what creates the Kangen water. Many people get misinformed, or they choose to make an assumption that we are adding minerals to increase the water, to make it alkaline water based on pH, a chemical change. Everything to do with this is an electrical change. And unfortunately, that's why so many people don't think that this works, especially when you start going down the road of chemists, some physicists, doctors. They say, oh, it's all pseudoscience, doesn't work. But they're actually looking at alkaline water. You know, I had somebody actually say to me that drinking over 8 pH is fatal to the body. Well, that could be true based on high mineral leveled water. But when we're talking about a charge, and our bodies are a charge, we know this, then we're looking at something completely different. And sometimes these tests, if people are open-minded enough, sometimes these tests, visual tests right in front of their own eyes, help them to see the truth. We've got around about 8 there. Remember, this is exactly the same water, except it come directly out the tap, didn't go and get filtered first. So we've just seen it jump to 8.1. So 8.1, and we go into the water that actually, the same water that went through the ionizer, around about 8.1. But if we go into the same water that went through the ionizer when it was turned on and charged, we can now see it starting to climb, and it's going to go back up to that 9.5 mark. That's the power of Kangen water. That's what we're looking at in regards to the Enagic ionizers, and this in particular, the Enagic Kangen. Look at it climbing. So we know it's just an electrical charge that creates the water. So I hope that has made sense. It's made a lot of sense to me. I've thoroughly enjoyed doing this test for the first time. And look at that, fantastic. Thank you for your time. Go and look at other video education on my YouTube channel. Comment below what value you received. Feel free to share this video as well. And I look forward to educating you further. Bye for now. Enjoying my YouTube channel? Please make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell to receive further value.